still. But Ryan Fees just texted me. He said give him a minute, and we'll get this thing
Jay,
going.
we made you a speaker, but are you technologically sound? Could you be a good co-host for us?
Buddy, I am not good at co-hosting shit, but I'm here.
All right, we need a a co-host that really is like the we need a technology host, Josh. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah,
we need a
so we
lot.
could sit here and
But
talk and yeah.
well, I think eventually I'll get a hang of it. Just making sure that each person, gets their time to speak, and otherwise we're just gonna hang up
Yeah,
and
me
watch
too, right?
basketball.
Like I have like no, so here's the deal, right? Like you have these people and they just like gang up and then they like they don't let other people speak and then they just like disappear. Like we've made our point, nobody could say anything and that's it, right? So like even last night, like Sean and Jungleman and Fees, they're like spinning this situation to where like, oh my god, like this guy's the worst in the world, yada 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 yada. He does this, he does that. And I'm like, wait a second, guys, and then I start talking, and you just get like bulldozed over, and it's like this mob
Yeah,
mentality, and like the same thing happened to Durr, right? Like, imagine like he's 23 years old, him and Jungle are both autistic at the time. Like, and I say this in a kind of a respectful way, but not, but like everybody used to just like kind of like. I mean, they were just different, and they were uh, they were like easy to manipulate, like very green, I guess. Back at the time,
yeah. I would take their early years as just being very socially challenged and not used to being around a bunch of powerful not, I don't know if powerful is the right word, but personalities, and now they're being respected and looked up to more than they ever have in their
right,
life.
like yeah, like just like so very socially awkward, and they're kind of in a pool with like these people that have kind of been like hustling or just better speakers or you know stronger people that there's these lot of clicks there's a lot of clicks and in poker and
Yeah, for sure. uh,
Hey,
You have to
Viff, before
remember, Viffer, that at the time, Dwan kind of disappeared from like the internet. He wasn't defending himself, so it really turned a lot of public opinion against him
correct.
way back. And part of the reason also, this is not a criticism of you, Viffer. It's just I've been following you for a long time. I think you're a great guy, but when you type, and you have to remember, a lot of this stuff was just on 2+2. It was in written form. It's very hard for a lot of people to side with you when you don't come across well in your written text. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with that. It's just
No,
reality.
I get that. I understand completely. So like it's very rare for me to use spell check or even go back and try to look at what I'm typing because the reality of the situation is I just don't give a fuck, right? Like I don't care.
No, and that's fair. That's fair. I think it's just an explanation of kind of why that mob mentality that you're seeing um, has happened. It's just because you don't come across as well, and people are somewhat more likely to just side automatically with the person that comes across
I
better.
agree with you
yeah.
100%
Okay.
there.
Hey, okay, Viffer. There's a lot of people in here that don't know the origin of y'all's beef. Can you? And I think this has nothing to do with telling your side of the story. This is
Who's beef?
strictly
Which beef?
objective. The what is the bet? How did you and Jungle? What bet did you guys have, and what did you guys bet on? And let's start there.
So this is let's get Ryan in here real quick because I see him requested. But so here we're gonna let him speak and then
Okay, no, I want
That's
you
fine.
before
So
Ryan's.
so so
Okay,
this is
uh,
what was it, 2008 or whatever else, and money's flying everywhere else, and Durr's on top of the world, and so let me just say this: like me and Durr were very 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 good friends at the time.
okay,
So here, let me say this first of all. So Doug Polk came on the air and he aired his childhood dreams, right, or his childhood insecurities or whatever it is, and like that was pretty heartfelt, and I related to that like 100%.
okay. Viffer,
No, no,
Viffer,
no.
you're going off
Let
course.
me get to
I
this,
want to
please,
know.
please, please, because it makes
Okay,
it'll all tie in. Just give me real quick. So, as a child, I never went to the same school for a whole year, and a lot of the stuff Doug said was like exactly about my life. So, when Doug says you either go out to kill people or not, like that's true. Like if anybody's ever robbed me, I want to kill them. But at the same time, if I bet you this will also resonate. And I bet you if you're like a friend of Doug's and like a tight inner person friend of his, like maybe Ryan or whatever, he would probably die for you, right? Like he's his friends are his bestest friends, and his enemies are his own enemies. So
okay. Where are
so
we
so
going with
that's
this?
that's the relationship I had with Durr at the time. Like he was one of my friends. I
Okay,
would die for him, right? Even to this day.
okay,
So he's getting ready to play this challenge with Jungleman, and everybody's betting, yada 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 yada. And I'm pretty sure we had a side bet on the match, and then we had
who's
a
we?
cross book.
Who's
Me
we?
and
Who's
Jungleman,
we?
and I guess
Oh, okay.
it would be me and Jungleman and Scott Palmer, which was you're in danger or you're not in
Yeah,
danger or whatever
right.
else. And then I had a $5,000 bet with fees on the site also, and then a few other people. I think Scott Seaver. Um,
Okay, what since Ryan's here to defend himself, what is your recollection of your $5,000 bet
no, no, no.
on this
I mean,
match?
Ryan's waited 13 years to get at me, so let's hear it, Ryan. I'm here.
The time is
What's
now,
up,
Viffer.
man?
How's it going, buddy? Not too much. So, do we have like a consensus? Like, is the challenge over or is it ongoing?
Exactly.
Well, you tell me.
Well,
What do you think?
so the thing is it's not clear, right? It's not clearly over. I have a very, very strong opinion about this, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. But you
Okay.
came on there last night, and you were like, "Hey, this Vipper, he's a scumbag. Hey, I've waited 13 years. Hey, this and that, and all this other stuff." And you waited. Let's hear it, buddy. Come on, bring it.
I mean, like, I don't like is like if Durr just gets like 49,000 or whatever hands he's at, and then just like quits playing. Like, I mean, Durr obviously is the one that like quit here. Like, I just because he hasn't like said that he concedes, like he
All
clearly
right.
has
So
conceded.
I have this question for you. You think
Sure.
do you agree that you were like inferring that like I was a deadbeat last night when you were talking with Sean and Jungleman?
I mean, like, I don't like. I mean, like maybe, like I don't. Like, it feels like you're trying to like avoid paying the debt, but like we haven't really talked about it, so like
All right,
maybe
but
not.
hold on, like because you guys were pretty rough. Like it was the mom mentality, and you were pretty rough, and you're like, hey, I've been waiting all this time for this and all this other stuff, and here's the thing. So you didn't even remember the bet till about 4 years ago, right? Like you were like, yeah, I think we have this bet, yada
Okay,
yada yada, and I'm like, yeah, Ryan, we this was the bet. But here's what I will tell you:
okay,
if you think we have a bet,
sure.
and you think that I owe you $5,000, here's what I'll do. I'll bet you $10,000 that I don't owe you $5,000, and we'll let Doug Polk arbitrate it. Do we
Okay.
have action?
What? Okay. What?
You
We're
say that
betting
I owe
that.
you $5,000.
So
and I'm saying that I don't,
Right.
and I'm saying we could let Doug Colt
Okay.
arbitrate this, and I'll bet you 10,000 that he says I don't owe you 5.
And our bet was the whoever wins the
Correct.
challenge. And you're saying that because Durr has sat out of this challenge, that it's ongoing. There's no way to know who's winning. So it's just in limbo. So you don't currently owe me the money because Durr hasn't technically conceded.
It's a lot deeper than that, Ryan. It's going to go a lot deeper than that, and like we're because we'll
All right, listen, you got action, but you got to
fine,
escrow.
done. It'll be done. So we have action. I'll be happy to escrow.
All right, 10K. Doug's the escrow. Or I guess Doug can be the escrow, or
I could care less.
who do you
Doug
want
can
as
be
the
the
escrow?
escrow. That's fine. I got to find
All
a way
right,
to
Doug's
get
the
him, but
escrow.
we
All right,
absolutely have a bet. And
all right.
1,000 if
Okay,
somebody
booked.
backs out.
Bro, I'm sending my money. This is 10,000. I
That's
guess
fine.
it's zero. I lose
That's
10 or I
fine.
win 10.
It's a bet, 100%. The
All
only
right.
thing is Doug has to agree to be fair and unbiased.
Okay, and
I'm sure
I
he
get
will.
it.
so Viffer, if Ryan wins the bet, does he get paid the 5,000
No,
he's owed as well?
no,
All right, whatever, man. Like,
no,
it's
he
cool.
doesn't.
Okay, all right, all right. We'll save it. We'll run it again, and we'll have Josh be the arbiter of that
All
one.
right. So we have action now.
We have action. It's booked. I'm gonna send
I'm
Doug
sure
the
you
money
don't have
right
to send
now.
it to him. I mean, you guys are business partners, whether you send it to him or not. Regardless, Ryan, I could care less. We have a bet.
Yes, sure. All right. All right. Well, listen. I'm waiting. The bet begins the moment that he receives the
Correct.
money from you.
No problem.
All right.
It'll probably, to be honest with
Okay.
you, it'll probably be next week, and we'll set something up.
Okay.
It's
Sure.
not
Yeah.
easy for me to move money around, but there you go.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
yeah. So anyway,
Okay, well that
but
was
Ryan,
easy.
here's my thing. Have you and me ever
Okay.
had any financial transaction? Yeah.
Other than this, or what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Any financial transaction whatsoever.
I mean, we've had this bet that no one has paid.
Besides that,
That's it.
so why do
No.
you think it's fair of you to insult my integrity and make it sound like I don't pay my debts or I don't pay my bets when you've had zero interactions with me and you're hold
What do
on,
you?
let me
Because
finish,
look.
please, because I'll speak. You've had
Sure. Sure.
zero
Sure.
interactions with me, and all of a sudden you want to just collect this money for a bet that's like 25% done, and like it's very unclear what happens or whose happens. Like I just think that that's really unfair of you guys, right? And it's more than just you. So if you'd like to respond to that, I'd love to hear it.
Okay. All right. Well, sure. Fair enough. I mean, I think. I mean, my perspective is obviously that like Dirk clearly backed out. It did it in a very like dishonorable and unethical way. Um, I think he clearly lost the bet. He owes him the money. And then I think that you know, by virtue of that, that you lost, you know, your bet. Now, I will like, I will concede to you that like we have. I'm looking at my DMs right now, and we like talked about this 10 years ago, and we were like, let's like settle this bet. And I think like kind of full tilt is maybe still going on or whatever. And I was just like, oh, let's just like kind of like see what happens. And I actually didn't talk to you directly, and I'm just kind of inferring what I heard from other people. So to that extent, like I'm making a judgment off of secondhand information, and that is like a little bit unfair. So I will concede that to you. I mean, that said, it seems like you know you think this bet is ongoing for whatever reason. Okay, fair enough. You know, we'll just have to let Doug arbitrate and
Yeah,
settle this,
I
I
mean,
guess.
I'm not letting Doug arbitrate, you know the situation. I'm letting Doug arbitrate this bet, just like
Or
and I did the same
sure,
thing
fair
with
enough.
Jungleman, right? I'm like, all right, Jungleman. I'm
Uh,
like, hey,
well,
we'll bet 10,000 on what Bob says, or all of us.
And then you
I
didn't.
paid him the 10,000 right away.
You did pay the 10. I agree to that. Well, I'd like to make another bet. Sure. Why not? Is it my turn to speak yet, or
Absolutely.
what's
Welcome
going
to the
on?
show, Jungleman.
Well, yeah, I think there's some missing information here. Actually, Tom like pretty much formally surrendered to me, and he even you know we had multiple arbitrators, one being Ike Haxton, another being Justin Bonomo. I've explained this before. He, for some reason, disqualified Justin Bonomo, even though he was never did anything to just to qualify him. Ike personally told him that he's out of line, and then he disqualified Ike. Ike will also say again that he's out of line, and he owes Ike money on top of that, by the way.
Okay, hey, Jungle.
No,
Was
Josh,
there
Josh,
ever?
let him finish this because this is something I'm going to ask him about. So please let him finish.
Okay, well, I've got a lot of points to make because I don't see how you have a leg to stand
That's
on, if I'm
okay.
really honest. So, well, I'm not finished. I'm
I
not. I'm
want
not
you to
anywhere near
finish,
finished.
please.
Tom formally surrendered to me, made me sign a document saying he's gonna pay me. He didn't pay me. And it's been like ages afterwards. Ilya's witness to that. He was one of the arbitrators. Phil Galfon's witness to that. He's one of the arbitrators. Jason Somerville's witness to that. He was one of the arbitrators. So Tom lost, and we made multiple times agreement saying if you don't play by this point in time, you've lost. He agreed to that. So even if like the side bet was like, debatable, I don't really think it is, given all that. In addition, I brought up a couple points multiple times with you that we have a 20% crossbook. How the hell are you going to explain how you don't owe the crossbook? 20% of 1.25 million, that's about 250K. 10% is to you're not in danger, but I can't even collect mine or any money of mine. So, like, I don't really care about the side bet that much. I would like that crossbook because I don't see how you can possibly defend that crossbook. He lost that money. And in addition, you wanted to have like some kind of equity arbitrator or something arbitrate, but for some reason, you were willing to accept the arbitration when it was in your favor by Josh Arieh and Rob Young. So I'm happy to use those arbitrators again. For this one, I mean, like that's totally fine with me, or we can select someone else. So yeah, I don't see like what is a position to stand on. But go ahead.
Are you done? Are you done? Because I don't want to
Yeah, that's
interrupt
it.
you. Like I don't want to believe it. So
That's a price.
so
But
so
go ahead.
let's talk about this for a minute. Can you tell us exactly who the arbitrators were? First of
Wait, I'm sorry, Viffer, sorry to cut you off. Can I ask one
sure.
quick question? Jungle, just as a point of clarity, are you willing to play Durr right now and
Fuck
continue
yeah.
the challenge?
Fuck yeah, dude. I've been waiting to play him.
All right, that's just point
Um,
of clarity. All right, I'm out.
So the original arbitrators were Ike Haxton, Justin Bonomo, and Phil Ivey. Phil Ivey didn't want to have any part of it. For some reason, Tom ignored Justin for no reason at all. And Ike personally told him that Tom is out of line. Tom freaked out and invalidated him.
Hey, Jungle.
Those
Tell everybody exactly what you and Viffer's bet was. You
that's
guys, did you guys start from? Did you guys bet at the beginning of the challenge? Did you guys tell me you guys
it was
interaction that made the bet happen?
it was at the beginning. It looks like it was right when I was losing. I lost initially to Tom about a few buy-ins, and I was
Well,
down
that's
100.
not the beginning. This is the match has already started.
Yes, well,
Okay.
on the screenshot I showed, it was right when I was losing 130K. It was when I couldn't sleep and thought in my head, had the feeling in my head that I just not going to lose, and I came back and smashed him that very day. That must have been when we made the bet, and so it's 20% crossbook plus 62.5. He laid 62.5K to 50K
On the
on
result, on just the
now.
result of the match.
Yeah,
Okay. And how many hands in were you guys when the bet happened? A roundabout number, 1,000, 2,000.
no, I don't think it was that much. I think it was more like a few hundred
Okay,
because like
so
that
a few hundred hands into the challenge. he lays you 62.5 to 50,000 on an overall result. Is that right?
That's just on the side bet, yeah. On the
Right. And then also at this time is when you booked a 20% cross book as well.
yes, 10% was I gave to You're Not in Danger too.
Okay, 10% of yours, or you guys chop the 20%, 10 each?
10 each.
Okay. And Viffer, you agree that what he's saying is true?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, these are facts. These aren't
Correct.
opinions,
Yes.
these are facts.
I mean, it might be a point
Okay.
off here or there, but it's yes, he's stating the truth.
Okay. And how, for all the viewers and even myself, how many hands in was the challenge?
Correct.
50,000 hands? And how many hands did they play?
I think they played 15,000.
Okay. Now, Jungle, you also say that you have a formal I don't know what the right word is. Durr formally quit and said you win.
Yes.
And have you collected any money of the I think he was laying you 1.5 to 1 million on top of what you guys were playing for?
Well, okay, so the answer to that is complicated, but he did pay a little
Josh,
bit more
let me
after I
touch on this,
signed.
please.
Okay, but guys, these are facts. These
I
aren't
get it,
opinions.
but I'm going to ask Jungle some
Okay.
questions, and I was in the middle of asking them. And
Sure.
Josh, when I promise you, I'll get to this. Just let me ask these questions, please. Is that all right? All right.
Yeah, go.
So Jungle, the arbitrators were the arbitrators were Ike, and he got disqualified. Justin got disqualified. Who else?
Justin Justin was never disqualified, really. If we go back in the history, he did nothing to disqualify himself. Technically, Ike did, but Ike straight up told Tom, "Hey, you're not being ethical,"
That's
something like
fine.
that. Was
Oh,
never
okay,
actually
so but you guys have
disqualified.
had arbitrators that have made decisions. Who were they? Who else were they? Because I know it was more than just Ike and Justin Bonomo.
The first two were Ike and Justin Bonomo. I mean, we can ask any of them for their opinions.
Here,
And then the next
hold
three
on.
were
Did Ike or Justin
Ilya.
Bonomo bet on this match at all? Who did they bet
They
on?
did.
Oh, all
They
right,
bet on
fair
me.
arbitrators. Go ahead.
So you're aware, both of them let Tom know that they bet on me, and Tom
Of course,
respected them.
of
By the
course.
way,
But keep going. Who else?
of course. um, Ilya Trencher, Phil Galfond, and what's his name? Jason
Okay,
Somerville.
I'm pretty sure Phil Galfond didn't bet on anybody, right? He
I don't
didn't,
have
as far
any.
as you know, he didn't bet. And Jason Somerville, whatever, and Ilya, whatever. All right. So now let's just say that Tom Dwan comes up to you today and he gives you $1 million. Do you get to keep that whole $1 million,
Yeah,
or do you owe pieces
for
to other
what?
people?
I owe
Okay.
pieces
Who
to
do
other
you
people.
who
So do
has what piece?
people. I mean, I sold about 1/3 of the action. I told you Ike and ZJ have small pieces. You're not in danger as a piece. Technically, Vivek has a piece, actually, by the way. Let's see, who else's pieces? I
Okay,
don't know.
let me while you're thinking about who had pieces, did Tom know that these people had pieces when he elected these people to be valid arbitrators?
As I've just said, the answer is yes.
And I'll agree with that, Josh.
Wow.
Okay, so okay.
Why does that even matter? But okay.
It matters because in the faith of a side bet, or in the situation of a side bet, and I'm always going to refer back to the pool room. And in my opinion, if I were to bet on the side of two people in a match, I'm deferring to whatever their result is.
Sure.
And
This is
if I were one of the two people in the match, I would never allow somebody with financial interest No
Okay, well,
matter how much I trusted them, I would never allow them to be arbitrator. But that's Tom's fault. That has nothing to do with either.
okay,
With
well,
any.
you can pick any of the five, and none of them are going to rule in his favor, dude. I mean, in my opinion, you don't even have to use it. Like
I mean,
whatever.
that's common sense, right? If they have a match on it, why would they rule in his favor? But that's regardless. I'm not insulting their integrity because those guys have a lot of integrity, and
Agree.
if so, and they probably made a decent ruling. But I'm going to touch a point on that in a little bit because it makes a pretty big difference. Um,
Okay.
but I'm not saying that Ike or Justin or anybody else. But let's go ahead and let's finish. Who else has pieces of you?
I think that's about it. I think there's like tiny pieces here and there, but I think like maybe like TC from UB has a piece or something, and I don't know.
All right. Do you know other people that have big bets on this besides yourself?
Um, Let me think. I mean, to be honest, I know Fees did. I don't know about a big bet. Uh, who else? I told you some. But just so you know, Viffer had the piece of has a piece against Tom, or not Viffer, Vivek. Excuse me.
Right. So like Scott Seaver has a pretty big bet on you. Uh, there's quite a few other people, right? There's quite a few.
I don't know everyone that's got a piece on this thing. I don't know. Why does that matter?
We'll get to that. I just we'll get to it.
Okay.
All right. There's a lot of people.
Hey, Jungle,
So when
or
this match,
sorry, Viffer, I have 1%.
huh?
I have 1%. This is fee. This is fees.
Yeah.
I have 1%.
Does Doug Polk have a piece? All right. But regardless, Ryan. Okay, so Ryan has a small bet. Whatever. You and me have a small bet. Yada yada yada. That's all good. Um. From what I remember, when you guys first started Agree to Play, basically all the smart money was on you, right? Like there was like the suckers like me, Daniel Alai, like all the old school players that kind of like Tom, like we were all like jocking on him, and like all the good internet kids and all these other stuff like Justin Seaver, like all of the great no limit players at the time were just like trying to bet all they could on you, right? And all these people, they were like real big on 2+2 at the time and influential, and they were like the best players. They were the best no limit players at the time. And they were all betting on you, and Daniel Ansky, uh, Ariel, like there's a bunch of them, but all like the prominent 2+2 community and posters were betting on you at the time.
Sure.
Is that something fair to say?
Sure.
Ryan, you were around at the time. Would you agree with that?
Sorry, that all the sharp online Olympic guys bet on Durr, and all the like live kind of older school guys bet on Tom.
Like most of the smart 2+2
So what?
community. What's that?
So what? Go ahead.
Well, if it's important to me, can you just show me the same respect I show you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, because this is a little more complicated than what you're trying to make it out, bud.
Go ahead.
So I've taken, I've fought in this battle for 15 years against the whole community, and now you guys want to put this out there, and so I just like to say my piece.
Go ahead.
All right, so Ryan, so the whole 2+2 community of like the respected great players are all betting on Jungleman, right? For the most part.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know like who bet on. Sure, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know who bet on Durr. I wouldn't. Yes, there's like a cohort that largely at that time congregated on 2+2 that were sharp NL players at the time that bet on Jungle. I wouldn't say that they didn't necessarily. There wasn't like another cohort that was also featured on 2+2. There was on 2+2 at the time that didn't bet on. That didn't bet on Tom. I just have no idea who bet on him, so it's like hard for me to say.
All right. So now you guys start playing, right? And all of a sudden, what's happening, right? You guys are playing, and what happens, Jungleman?
I smash him. So
All
what?
right, you smash them, right? Like you're a clear favorite. And
Uh
then Black Friday happens,
huh.
and what happens?
Full tilt and Poker Stars go down. And then no, Poker Stars doesn't go down.
I don't really remember. All I remember is Black Friday going down.
Um,
I remember Full Tilt going down, and like I remember there was like a lot of drama behind it.
Full tilt went down. Poker Stars did not. Poker Stars did what it was supposed to. And then yeah, Ultimate Bow went down too.
All right. Another question for you. I'm sorry. Did you said that Scott Palmer has part of this bet?
Yep.
All right. Where's he at?
Good question. I don't know. I keep trying to get a hold of him. I need to get a hold of his mom.
Is he rich? Is he poor?
I think he's at home playing video games, but I will. I mean, I'm happy to message him and try. I've messaged him a few times.
So do you think if he owed me 200,000 right now, I could call him up and get it?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't see what that has to do with me.
All right. So somebody's that you were partners with, right? That has a piece of this bet.
Okay,
If he was losing, he wouldn't be able to pay me right now. Is that fair to say?
not losing, so that's irrelevant. He hasn't been losing for a very long time.
Okay, but if he was losing, would he be able to pay me right now?
I don't know. We have to call him up and ask. I mean, this is like the question that like there's so many things that would have to be different if this was the case.
It's not quite so clear, bud.
Uh,
All right. So
it,
anyway, so Black
it,
Friday happens.
I can answer for other people.
Let's just say I know the answer to the question.
Okay, cool fucking story, dude. That he was never losing.
Okay, that's fine. He was never losing.
So
But do you think there's a possibility in this world that he could have been losing?
sure, dude.
All right. So if he could have been losing, and at this point in life, he couldn't pay me, right?
What?
It's
You know what? Why don't we
ask him.
let Josh Arieh or whoever decide whatever possibility that is, in whatever context this makes sense in right now, and pay that distance. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with Jungle's bet. Jungle could pay right now, and Jungle's not trying to collect Scott Palmer's debt.
Right, but if Scott
Jungle's
Palmer owed
trying to.
me, hold on. If Scott Palmer, which has half of Jungle's man's bet, I wouldn't be able to collect.
I mean, you know what? Like, if like fucking like whatever, if we made a bet for another $500,000, would you be able to pay me? Like, I don't know. We can make all these hypotheticals, but in my mind,
Yeah, this has no relevancy on Jungle's part of the action. We're
Hey, Josh, just give me a second.
but
Because it
no,
does have relevance. If I
but
can't collect if I win,
you can
now that
collect
I'm
from Jungle.
okay, hey Jungle, after Black Friday,
$500?
after Black Friday happened, right, and everything went down, could you have paid 300,000
Yes.
without borrowing money from anybody?
Fuck yeah, and it was 10 years ago.
So you're telling me that you didn't need to borrow 500,000 and you had no cash? You were never short on cash or broke after Black Friday? Is that what
First
you're
of all,
saying?
that doesn't matter, and yeah, I always fucking had it.
It does matter. It matters a lot.
No, it doesn't,
Says who?
Josh.
I agree. Even if he's able to borrow money, I think that this has no relevancy
So,
on whether you would have gotten paid or not.
Do you want to bet on this one? I'll bet on this one too.
all right. So it's not relevant that like after Black Friday goes down, you had no money and I couldn't get paid if you owed me. That's not relevant, right? So like if you were down $2 million to
That
Durr,
wasn't
nobody would stake you.
the thing. That wasn't even remotely true. I had the money. Even if
Okay.
even if your point was like a valid point, even if it was a valid point, it's still irrelevant because I always had it. Why are we talking about this point? Can we move on from this?
No, we can't, because there's a world that once Black Friday happened and the
There's a
fucking
for everything. So why don't I draw up hypothetical situations too, where like now you owe me $2 million and like whatever, or I owe you $2 million. This is what you're saying to me, and even Josh is saying it doesn't really matter. I
So
don't know.
Josh, it doesn't matter that if I couldn't get paid. If
Absolutely not. I think that
okay,
Jungle's stated multiple times that you could have gotten paid, and Scott Palmer, we don't care about Scott Palmer's financial situation, and this is a beef between you two. And
so
I don't think, I'm not positive, but I don't think that Jungle is trying to collect Scott Palmer's part of the bet. I think he's trying to collect his own.
100% he is.
I mean, is that Jungle? You're trying to collect yours and Scott Palmer's?
I mean, I'm just trying to collect mine because, like, how crazy would it be for me to try to collect Scott's before, like, I can collect on Viffer's, and like, I feel like I have to fight Invisible
Who was
Arieh.
the bet made? Who was the bet made with?
Made
Was
with
the
me.
bet between Jungle and then you gave somebody a piece?
It was made with me, and then I gave it to
Okay,
Scott.
okay, that's enough. Viffer, if you and I were at the pool room and we were betting on the side on a match, and I book a bet with you, and then I give part of it to Ron Wiseman, do you think there's any world that I come to you and pay you half the money and say collect the other half from Ron Wiseman?
Yes.
Oh
In this
no,
particular in this
no. That
particular Josh, in this particular situation, yes.
okay.
Because it was
Well,
very clear at the time. And Scott Palmer had a lot of money, right? Him and Jungleman were like partners. They
it
both
does
had a
not matter. Okay, so
It
let's.
doesn't matter to you, Josh, but it matters to me.
Well, it matters to you because you have to pay that money. So, I mean,
No,
yep.
it's no. Okay, let's change. Okay. As somebody that's gambled for 40, I'm 48, for 30 plus years, if I make a bet with anybody and I give somebody a piece of it, me selling the action to the person I gave the piece of is a bet between me and that person.
Yeah, but Josh,
My bet with you is between me and you. I am vouching for the
but that's
whole
not
amount.
but that's not what happened, Josh.
Jungle just told me that he made the bet with you.
Oh, okay, I get it, Josh. And like I said, a lot of people could say a lot of things, but that's just not what happened.
So what happened?
Jungle, just read the you want to show this you want to show this thing that the 2+2 thread that we had that said Scott Palmer has this, right? Like Scott Palmer bet this and you bet this. Totally separate. Josh, my point is here is just like this. In the situation, if the roles would have been reversed,
You would have gotten paid
that's what you say.
because I pay people. I have a history of paying.
You have a history of paying because you can and because you're winning.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I pay
But
people.
that's everybody.
Exactly, Josh. All right, there's 20 or 30 people I'm sorry, that might be an exaggeration, but 5 to 10 people that bet on Jungleman. That if you went to them today and said, "Hey, you owe 5,000 or you owe 50,000," there's about zero chance you could get paid. All right? So now at this point, those same people, if they were losing, they would be saying this exact same thing now. They would be saying, "Hey, I can't pay. The match never got finished. Black Friday comes and wipes everything out." Now, Black Friday comes, and afterwards, Jungleman did not have money like he said. Jungle, what was your in the 6 months after Black Friday? What was your cash flow?
I had $1 million liquid.
Okay, you had $1 million liquid, right?
Yeah, and like I still had assets. Uh, and
Okay,
what?
so you have $1 million liquid, and now it's time to play Tom Juan 200, 400.
Yep, I could have gotten
You could have gotten staked because you were winning.
Okay.
if you were losing and not a clear favorite, you would not have been able to get staked.
I don't understand. This is like a wildly different circumstance. Then I might have to forfeit. Than a lot of things. I mean, Tom actually tried to do a decent amount of the time, not all the time. Tried to do the right thing. He tried to play. Well, he tried to give me money a lot of the time. He keeps seesawing in his mind and then going back to the crazy situation. I don't know. I don't understand how this is like a valid. Like I don't
Because Jungleman, how do I have to pay a bet that if I won, I couldn't have gotten paid?
That's such a retarded argument. What the fuck?
What do you mean that's a retarded argument?
Josh, is that a valid argument?
I don't believe it's a valid argument.
There you go.
I get it, Josh, and you have every right to
Hang
believe
on,
that.
Viffer, could I have paid you? Would I have paid you?
Come on, man.
Brian, yes, you would have. Right? It's $5,000. It's a little bit different.
Dude, I have it right now. Do you have it? Like, you know what I mean?
It's a little bit different, Ryan.
I think I had it at every point in my life, actually. Even if, by the way, that still doesn't make it valid. By the way,
says who?
Fucking everyone. What do you want? What do you mean? Everyone in this chat thread. Ask them.
So here's the thing. You guys have bullied Tom. Jungleman, I have a question for you. If it comes out or it's decided by the community that you owe Tom Dwan money from this, will you pay him?
Okay.
So if somebody says, hey, this was arbitrated unfairly, and Jungleman, Tom's paid you 1.35 million, and he should have only paid you 200,000, you'll give him $1 million?
There's a psychological term for this. It's called deflecting.
I'm not deflecting.
You are.
No, I'm not.
You are. The truth is not what you want to hear, but I mean, at least you're trying to like come to terms with it in your own kind of way. I don't know what Rob Young says or someone else says, but you have your answer from Josh himself, and you keep going to something that's not relevant to the matter at hand.
It's not. It doesn't matter. It may not be relevant to you because that doesn't fit your narrative, right?
Well, yeah. Oh, the narrative. I mean, you agreed to the narrative. What are you talking about? You're the one who owes the money.
Says you.
Says everyone in this chat.
What? So let me ask this. So you have something. So if we got Tom Dwan on here, and I'm not saying that's possible, he would say that he forfeit and he's paid 1.35 million of 1.5.
I think he would say something like that. He believes he's paid 1.4. I'm very sure that's not correct, but
okay, whatever. He's
so
paid.
He's paid 1.3.
Okay, Viffer, why do you think he's paid 1.3 out of 1.5 million?
Because
there's a few penalties in there, and so, but why do you think that in Tom's mind he forfeited? Is that right?
Tom was bullied in this, just like I'm being bullied, right? so
who bullied Tom?
Ike, Justin Bonomo, Scott Seaver, the whole 2+2 community.
But those are guys. Hold on a second. Those are guys that Tom. When Tom agrees to those guys being the arbitrators, that's not bullying.
But Josh, we're not talking about this as an arbitration, right? We're talking about this once Black Friday came and Tom wasn't playing. All of a sudden, Tom's this big scumbag, and the whole world's piling on Tom unfairly.
Okay, I agree that Tom is not a scumbag. I don't know Tom. We've never had any words. I think that somebody paying off 1.35 million of a challenge that he definitely couldn't continue is definitely showing good faith. But Viffer, you making all these hypotheticals about what could have happened, this, that, and the other, and I might not have been able to get paid, and you didn't have this much money. I don't see good faith in your argument. I see that you're very articulate with all these points that you're making, but all the hypotheticals don't add up to logic.
Whose logic?
I do want to say something. I take back what I said. I don't think Tom is fundamentally a scumbag, but let's just say that he has not been responsible that way. I just want to say that for the record. I take that back. It's not fair to really.
So what happens if Tom comes out when Black Friday comes and says, "Hey, I was only doing this as a promotion for Full Tilt to get my sponsorship to be paid, and now that Full Tilt's
Oh my god. Okay, I just can't. I cannot stand up straight listening to that one.
all
Oh
right,
yeah.
well sit down then.
Viffer.
Sit down.
Hey, hold on, Viffer. David Williams has a question for you.
Yep.
No, I don't have a question. So I'm your boy, right? Like we've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
boys
yeah.
forever. And when you told me the situation with the Sean story, I shot you straight. And I'm listening to this as your boy. I mean, I like Jungle, but
Yep.
we're not close. I don't, I'm close with you. You're looking pretty foolish here. Your arguments,
That's okay.
but as your friend who wants to side with you, I cannot hear because your arguments aren't making sense. And you keep saying to who? To a normal person listening to the situation. The things you're trying to say don't make sense. Yet you can say, "Oh, I would not have got paid," but maybe they would have paid you in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's 10 years. You can't say that at some point you would have not got paid. You don't know that. You have to just when you bet with someone, you operate that they're going to pay you, and when you lose, you
Okay.
pay. So like to say, oh well, Scott Palmer might be broke right now, but at one point maybe he wasn't broke and you got paid 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years. You don't fucking know. But to say that's
Okay. I,
valid
I,
for
I
why
agree
you
that that
can't
could have
pay,
happened.
that could, but it doesn't matter, right? You can't operate in a world of hypotheticals. Like Jungle said, he created his own. What if this happened? We can only deal with reality, right? And the reality of it is that the challenge was over. Tom forfeited. Now, whether you lose the full amount or you lose the percentage completed, you guys figure that out. But to say that like it's not valid doesn't really make sense here. And I'm telling you this as your friend who wants to be on your side, and that you haven't presented an argument to where it could make sense. Like everything you've said just doesn't actually just connect. It's not reality, man. Like, and I'm telling you
So
this as your
so
friend. You aren't looking good here, and you aren't convincing anyone other than you're making it look worse. To be honest.
that's fine, and I respect that, D-Dub. But here's what I'm really getting at, right? So Full Tilt goes down, and this challenge was a Full Tilt promotion to be played on Full Tilt Poker, and now all of a sudden, Full Tilt's gone and Full Tilt's closed, right? Now I didn't bet on a match that was 15,000 hands. I didn't lay odds on a match that was 20,000 hands. Like we laid odds on a match for 50,000 hands.
But here's
The
the
better
here's
player over 50,000 hands has a better advantage than a better player over 15,000 hands.
let me
Would
tell
you
you
agree?
let me tell you why that falls apart, right? Because you bet on someone else, right? When you bet on someone else, you're at the mercy of what they decide unless you work that out. They're like, hey, we're going to have our own caveat. Like, if you say, hey, if it doesn't finish, then we're going to call it null and void. If you don't choose to do that, you're at the mercy of what they decide. Do you remember when we were in the Turks and Caicos, right? Do you remember the pool bet with Giannetti? Remember that?
Yes.
Right? I had a bet with $5,000 with him to stay in the pool. Peanuts compared to what the side action ended up being on the bet. And when he was in the pool for 24 hours for our $5,000 bet, the side action got so big that the people with side action were helping him, right? They were bringing him warm water, bringing him
Coffee.
sandwiches, bringing him coffee. And at one point when it was just him and I out there, I said, you know what would be really good to all these fucking dickheads who are helping me lose this bet? I go, if you just took a dive, right? We call it a wash, and you just took a dive. Fuck all them. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. And I was kind of pissed, but obviously it made sense. He didn't want to do that. But like, I'm like, well, we can call it a wash. I'll just let you out. Like, no bet. You don't lose, you don't win, and you can get out of the pool. And I'm like, but if you call it a wash, he's like, what about their side bets? I was like, fuck their side bets. They're not our problem. He ended up staying in the pool. But the thing is, when people bet on other people doing shit, you don't know what could go down, what they decide, what they agree on. And if you don't have that carved out in advance, you don't get to choose that, right? Like,
Right.
you made a bet. You made a
To-
bet.
okay. I totally agree with David, and I have another scenario that's very simple. Viffer, you take a piece of me in a poker tournament, and I get head up at the end and make a deal. I end up going all in and winning for the trophy, and you know that I made a deal. Everybody knows that there was a deal made, but I won the tournament, and the prize for the money is all of first place or whatever. when I go to pay you the money, are you going to tell me, oh, no, I didn't have anything to do with that? I didn't agree to a deal. And are you going to hold me to owing you the full piece?
Josh, I see what you're saying, and I disagree with you on this one.
How are you disagreeing?
Because that's a real cut and dry answer, right?
But how is when you go bet on somebody, you are deferring any decisions. You're giving them full authority to go with what they do.
So if you bet on a baseball game and it gets rained, Josh, that just doesn't quite make
There's
sense.
no bet. There's no there.
But there's already rules in place in
horrible
that scenario,
analogy.
Viffer. There's rules in place for that with the book, right? If the game doesn't finish, we don't have action. Whether they continue later or not, that rule was set before the bet was made.
It's premeditated.
Okay.
You should have set a rule with the person you bet with. Hey, if this doesn't complete, I don't care if it's 49-9, then we have no action. If you don't do that, then you
so
have
we're
to go
supposed
with
to
what
just
they
say,
do.
hey, you know what? If this site closes down and there's no internet poker in the United States anymore.
No, you could say if you don't play 50,000 hands and the match is ended for whatever reason, the site goes down, the world ends, the internet dies, nuclear war, who fucking cares? If they don't finish, what are we doing? If you don't determine what you're doing if it doesn't finish, that's why that rule is in place for a baseball game. It says if this doesn't finish, here's what happens, right?
Viffer,
you might choose to do that, which is fine.
Hold on,
but you're at the mercy of what they say.
This is also somewhat irrelevant because Tom has had the opportunity to play more hands. It's not like
not on
Tom
full
just
tilt.
couldn't play.
His argument is that it was on full tilt, though. So I'm saying even based with that argument, they didn't have a caveat, so he has to go with what Tom does.
Right, but was the bet specifically that it has to be played on full tilt, or is just a 50,000 hand challenge?
They disagree on that. Jungle says no. Viffer says yes.
There's magazine articles that says it's to be played on full tilt.
It doesn't matter, though, right? It doesn't matter either way because you didn't have it carved out what happens if you don't finish the challenge. So you have to go with what they decide. And if Tom decides,
but he's not finishing the challenge because the fucking poker site's gone.
It doesn't matter because what? If Tom was willing to say, you know what, you win, then that's you're
But
fucked.
Tom didn't say that, and Tom got bullied by the fucking internet to not say anything.
Tom's a grown fucking man, bro. Like
no, he wasn't a grown man.
He is 21 years old.
He was an autistic 23-year-old that got bullied by a bunch of people.
Then maybe you shouldn't bet on people who you think that of.
Okay, hey Jungle, when was this settlement agreement signed?
Okay, so a couple things. It was not agreed to be only on Full Tilt. It was a Tom Dwan challenge that Full Tilt promoted. In addition, Full Tilt Poker came back in 2014, and Tom played 60,000 hands when it came back and very little of the challenge. So even if that was the case, yeah, an invalid point. Secondly, Tom formally forfeit to me. We can also ask the arbitrators. I've already said those as my witness. And then lastly, again, what about this crossbook money? It is $250K, 20% crossbook. It's actually more than that I've received $0 for.
Right, so that was something I actually had asked someone else about. Whether the side bet or not is still up in the air. You definitely should pay your piece of the crossbook because that money was lost and paid by Tom as it happened, and you have a piece of that. So what is the justification for not paying the crossbook?
Because I'm a scumbag.
Okay.
Hey, Viffer, I just want to make one more analogy. I don't know why, but if me and you, if I was playing JRB in a headset in the pool room, which is, and the pool room closed and we prorate just like every other headset that doesn't finish. And are you going to argue that you don't have to prorate and that you were betting on the full set?
So what happens if the pool room gets raided and the cops come in and take everybody's money? Is that different, Josh?
No, it's not different because we obviously have more money. If I'm 4 games up in a headset and the cops come in and we all go to jail, whenever we're out of jail, I'm coming to get my 4 games unless we continue.
Okay.
But now in your defense, and not in your defense, but to argue that JRB agrees to pay me my prorated amount. JRB accepts loss, pays me the prorated amount, but you say, "Oh no, I'm not paying the prorated amount because I didn't bet on a half a set." That's garbage. You pay what
So,
JRB pays.
but that's not what happened, Josh.
I'm saying in your exact scenario,
Right,
the
I get it.
FBI closes the pool room and I'm 4 games winner and JRB agrees to pay me. I don't care
But
if
Tom
everybody in the
didn't
pool room
agree to
bullied him.
this.
What?
All right, so when did Tom agree to this, Josh?
I don't know. Those people that we were about to get there. When was the last hand played and when was the agreement made?
The agreement was the last hand was paid after Full Tilt came back. I can tell you that.
So that's like an agreement was
So,
made in like 2015.
No, the agreement was made probably in like 2008. To be honest, it was
Okay, but why does it matter when? Viffer, where are you going with this? An agreement was made. It doesn't matter when.
I guess I'm wrong. I'm just a scumbag then.
Listen, bro. Like I would
So
say
DW, here's my thing, right? Should Tom have to pay 3-1 on 15,000 hands?
yes.
I would say if I were Tom, I would have argued that 15,000 is 30% of the challenge. I'll pay 30%, but Tom was not savvy enough to even do that or offer that. It sounds like so. If Tom chose to just chalk up and take the L, which he kind of deservedly should have taken if he did play 60,000 hands on Full Tilt and ducked Jungleman, which is what it looked like. Then, if he chose to take the full L, then the people who are Tom backers take the full L, in my opinion, unless they work that out with their co-better before the bet.
So during this time, like me and Tom talked every day and everything else like that.
I
Eh,
remember. I
all
was
right,
around talking to both of you.
all right, and Tom, I'm like Tom, this isn't right. He goes, yeah, but I'm gonna win 10 million, and this just isn't gonna matter. He goes, I don't want I don't want all this. My reputation means more to me. Yada
So
yada.
I agree. So it sounds like, and that's why you said, well, hey, Tom, I have a bet here and I'm going to get fucked. So out of your 10 million, you're going to cover my bet if you're going to take this, if you're going to do this. Like, if that's your boy, you got to work that out before he concedes. You got to talk some sense into him because he's taking you down with him. And that just sucks. But like, there's no other world where it doesn't go. even professional arbitrators who don't know gambling would side with you.
But that's great. So then let's go to them, and that's what I will pay on.
So why are you okay with
We could go to professional arbitrators.
But now you want to go to another arbitrator after
We've
the
never gone to an
world
arbitrator,
for you.
Jungle Man.
In his defense, it sounds like the other arbitrators were kind of had pieces of the action, which Josh said that's kind of fucked up to have them, even though Tom accepted it, they should not have been the ones ruling on it if they had pieces of Tom. But in your defense, Jungle, I think you'll fucking win if you get three businessmen who don't know shit about poker and you explain this to them. I think you'll fucking likely. It seems like a slam dunk.
I think going outside the poker world is a huge, huge mistake.
Obviously, it's a mistake, but it's what Viffer wants, and I still think he would fucking lose. Is what I'm saying.
And I'm all right with that. But Josh, let me tell you what happened. All these people, right, that we talked about that have pieces of Jungleman that were arbitrators.
Right.
All right. We had this big old thing for a month, and we finally agreed to terms, and we're going to go to the professional arbitrator, and we're going to do it in Las Vegas, and we're going to bet $300,000 on it. And Justin Bonomo was the lead on it, and we came up with a list of arbitrators, and he got to pick three of them. Now it's time to go to these arbitrators, and all of a sudden they just back out. So I'm not going to take the word or the judgment of other people that had incentive to rule against Tom, that insulted his integrity to where, like, he couldn't stand up. Like, it's very hard for me to stand up and say what I believe to the whole world right now.
Of Tom's integrity, let me give a little bit of insight situation. Tom owes some of his best friends money. He even effectively
none of this. That doesn't matter. It's not. I think that everybody will agree that Tom has acted in good faith in the amount of money that he's paid you. So I don't think that trying to.
Josh, do you think that there's a world where Tom owes more than the 1.3 that he's paid out of the 1.5?
Yes, I do. There is a world that Tom owes the 1.5 plus the penalties that he agreed to. There is a world, but I think that him paying 1.35 and is 100% showing good faith that he's trying to get the debt paid. But Viffer, I was honest with you last night, and
I believe you.
I ruled in your favor against one of my closest friends, and you're out of you're completely
I could be out of my mind, and that's fine.
It's because you've convinced yourself for 10 years that you're right, and I've been there. And but there
But if they want my money, right? Like, we have these terms of this bet with a professional arbitrator. And that's how I'm willing to lose my money and pay.
Okay, well, in my mind, I think you are free roll. You are trying to free roll that an uneducated person that knows nothing about gambling is probably never bet $5 on anything, and you want to take a free roll and save yourself this 125,000. This 125,000 should never be negotiated. Should never be arbitrated.
So you're telling me that I should just sit here and accept arbitration from guys that bet on Jungleman? Like, I'm just supposed to accept what they say?
I think that when you bet on Tom Dwan, and didn't make any side terms, you give Tom Dwan full authority to make a decision for you.
But Josh,
and that's the same thing, dude. It's the same thing in the fucking pool room every single time we gamble. If I'm playing somebody one pocket and a guy says it's a foul and I let it go, and because I don't want to argue, and I say that no, just play. You are stuck to your bet on me, even though I let a foul go by because I didn't want to argue.
Yeah, I just think that there's a lot more to it with full tilt getting closed like that.
But you keep saying that. You keep saying there's more to it. There's more. But there's not. This is
Josh, I believe this, right? And if you want to get paid for me, I'm willing to pay through a professional arbitrator like we agreed to in the past. Me and Jungleman have a $50,000 bet on how Pinnacle would side on this. Right? Like, we have a bet for $50,000 on how Pinnacle would decide this.
I'll bet $50,000 on what Rob Young says. You want to do that?
Can we bet on what Pinnacle would say?
Why
Like,
do you arbitration of
did
Josh?
we have a bet for $50,000 on how Pinnacle would rule this? And Josh, do you think that there's any question if Pinnacle was taking bets on this, how it would be ruled?
Okay, so but now, no, hold on. So this is where I think you're trying to cheat the system, Viff. Is you want to bet 50,000 to win 50,000, but if you lose that bet, are you letting Pinnacle be the arbitrator? And
No, it's just like if I lose my bet to Ryan Fees, I pay the fucking 10,000 and we go on.
But why? So why would you? So you're going to have somebody else that you trust to make a $50,000 bet, and then if they tell you you're wrong,
if you want to let Pinnacle arbitrate this and we do what they would say, I'll accept their decision.
So hold on. So Jungle, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you have a chance to take this to arbitration and win the money that you're owed and 50,000. Is that correct, Viffer?
Yes.
I want to bet on what. Look, like this is crazy that this is even a possibility. Here's what's going on.
Done. We can do that tomorrow, Josh.
I don't know any ties. Are you talking about when you're saying Pinnacle? Are you talking about
nobody at Pinnacle?
This is blatant cheating.
It's not blatant cheating. Yes, I don't want to be judged by guys that bet on you.
I agree. I agree that those are bad arbitrators.
All right. Now, not only that, these same arbitrators bullied Tom into arbitrating, into making these bad deals.
You didn't listen to me.
The internet bullied Tom by saying, "Oh, he's a scumbag. Oh, all of this."
Hey, Viffer, I just added Jay.
To the point
Jay,
where
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
No longer viable.
Listen,
I
want to
Jay
know.
Has a question.
I want to know why you think the crossbook needs to go to arbitration. We all agree that the hands were played, money was lost, and paid. We can argue day and night about whether or not the challenge is over and you owe the 62.5K. But why do you think?
So let's argue it.
No, I don't want to know that. Because the bigger money is the crossbook. So why do you think that you don't owe the crossbook money?
I never said I didn't.
Okay. So why don't you want to pay the crossbook money?
I never said I didn't.
Okay, so Jungle, if you get the crossbook money and the bet challenge money is just a fucking wash because it sounds like it's a massive headache, but if you guys want to jump through that hoop, are you happy?
Here's what I'll say about that. We're going to need that to chill for a second. Here's what I'll say about that. I'm quote unquote happy. However, that's not right. And I'm going to present the view that I'm happy to give all that money to charity to help children who are in desperate need of help, meaning that money...
Jungle.
That's not what I asked. I just want to know if we can pay
Jungle, are
that
you willing to have real arbitrators arbitrate Tom's...
Give me the cross. I'd rather not deal with this headache until you give me that first money.
Hold on. Are you willing to let, like, Jason Kuhn and Phil Galfond arbitrate your side bet with Tom?
Yeah, dude, Phil Galfond over.
I'm asking you this: if Tom says, "Hey, I want to do this, this, and this against fair people," and Jason Kuhn and Phil Galfond says, "All right, we're going to arbitrate this." Are you willing to go by their ruling? Right?
That already happened.
Jungle. That's Viffer. That bet is settled. There is no.
It's not settled, Josh.
If he's paid him $1.35 million, that sounds like it's settled.
I mean, he's not like behaving like a rational person. So why should I?
No, I don't know. I mean, because maybe you want to do the right thing, Jungleman.
You're the one in the wrong.
You guys have the whole fucking poker world that bet on you.
You owe the money.
What?
You owe the money. They all said it. You owe it.
Okay, that's great. I owe the money.
I still don't understand why you guys are hung up on the smaller amount. Like,
I'm not. But I want.
There's not really. It's not a small amount. It's 1.5 million for Tom.
It's
Right?
62.5K of your side bet that you're trying to arbitrate versus the 200 and something K that you agree you already owe.
Nobody said that I don't owe this.
Then pay it.
I've never said I don't owe it.
So
I
pay it.
understand that, but you guys are arguing like vehemently about a side bet on the challenge, which is pennies compared to the crossbook, which is
Okay.
apparently still owed.
So
But
Viffer,
there's
do
a
you?
lot of other sites, like me and Ryan Fees. Do I roll Ryan Fees 5,000 or
Okay,
not?
we're not talking about that. Let's talk about
Who's
the
not
200.
talking about it, Josh?
Okay, the whole thing here is the main thing. 250,000 is a crossbook that was hand play. Do you? And you keep going around in circles saying nobody said that I don't owe this. I'm going to ask you. This is a yes or no question. Do you owe the crossbook money?
I think I owe a portion of it.
Why? Why would is it just be? Okay, what portion do you think you owe?
I don't know. I would have to think about that.
And why do you think it should be a portion? Crossbooks are per hand.
Possibly. I could be convinced. I'm not dug in.
Okay, well, if you could be convinced, if me and you were sitting next to them when they were at the table crossbooking,
Absolutely, Josh. Yes.
we would be passing chips back and forth.
Yes. You're
Say
right.
what?
I said you're right. As soon as you said it, you're right.
Okay, so I'm right. So you do owe?
I owe the crossbook.
Okay.
Great.
And
Done.
okay, cool. So is that going to get paid?
No.
Well, we're wasting. If that's the case, then we all just wasted 2 hours.
Nah, but Josh, I'm just not saying that I'm not paying. I'm not saying anything, right?
That's what you just
You
said.
literally just said you're not going to pay.
Like I want to put this all behind it, right? Because
Then you
I
need-
have this firm belief that Tom's been taken advantage of here.
Okay, we can get to that later.
Okay, so let's get to that.
No, let's
I owe
get
the
to the point.
crossbook.
Okay, so you owe Jungle 250,000.
Okay.
Okay, so now there's other bets that need to be cleared up.
Okay.
So Jungle, you think he owes you 62.5, but he says that the whole thing wasn't played. Viffer, what would do what?
I want to start with the 250. Like I just want that'd be a great start to get paid my fair due. I mean, you guys are all witnesses to what's right. There's nothing else to say. Like this gets to the point where he's just going in circles because he can't accept it. From my point of view,
Except what?
play, you name it. It's all
Jungle,
fair.
I
Except
think
what can I
Jungle.
accept, Jungle?
He just accepted that he owed 250,000. There's no reason to say what you just said.
Oh well,
He just accepted that he owes you 250,000 for the crossbook.
okay.
Now,
I appreciate that.
And now I have a question. It's probably a waste of time. If Scott Palmer couldn't have paid your bet, the 20% was with Viffer, and Scott Palmer says I'm broke. Do you pay the whole 250, or do you send Viffer chasing him for 125?
Well, I know that if I took that to arbitration, they would say, "Yeah, you owe the whole 250." So
I agree.
But here's the thing. But Josh, it's not. It was a bet between me and Scott.
Okay.
I will say, based on what Jungle posted about you have whatever, it was like you have blank with me and blank with you're in danger, I believe I saw, which does sound like it means it's a bet with a different person. Doesn't mean you don't have to pay it or not, but I'm just saying that's what it looked like to me, trying to decipher what the hell that meant.
Okay, so now Jungle, what if you were to think about a scenario that you thought that the whole challenge wasn't played, what would you accept of 62.5 and be happy with?
I don't think I would make that argument. I mean, I have a history of not doing things like that, and when I have issues, I arbitrate and I accept the arbitration. That is my history.
So great. Let's arbitrate this whole thing, Jungleman.
Let's
take it to professional arbitrators and do it, just like we agreed to. We agreed to this 10 years ago.
No, we didn't, dude.
We did.
No, we didn't. I have to go soon.
I get it. You have to go, right?
Well,
So
I mean,
you have taken advantage of Tom.
let me start with that.
Continue to, right? You guys have railroaded him with your group of people that all bet on you, that you tricked him into arbitrating, and you want to say this match is over because they say it.
That you want to bet with other people that I tricked him into arbitrating. I mean,
He
yeah,
was bullied into it, Jungleman.
man, you're really like this gets to the point. If you're gonna be this lost, like I don't know what to say to you. Should I have sympathy? Because
No, you shouldn't have sympathy. Let's just have people not in the poker community arbitrate it, or let's have it re-arbitrated by people that aren't betting.
what
Let's
you're
have it arbitrated by Jason Kuhn and Phil Galfond or
Phil,
Daniel Negreanu.
shut
All
up.
right, let's let Tom have a real chance to arbitrate it,
Hey,
because
Dan Shack's in this.
before when he arbitrated it, he was railroaded.
Do you know how
He
crazy?
was
What the fuck are you talking about? First of all, Tom like laughed at me when I accepted his challenge. I even posted and took it down because I felt bad. And I even mentioned this to Sean Deeb. Secondly, I already told you multiple times, Phil Galfond has already arbitrated it.
that's
In addition to
great.
Trencher,
He arbitrated it with who?
with Ilya Trencher and Jason Somerville. I said this multiple times. None of them had any shares.
So then
No,
if we let Phil arbitrate this, you'll accept his results right
he
now?
fucking arbitrated it.
But why does something need to
That's
go?
yes or no?
How many
Viffer,
times do you need to arbitrate it until you
Because
accept it?
you're telling me that I have to go by the rules of arbitration, Josh,
You're
right? Now
supposed
you
to.
but
I know.
Durr
Viff,
never got a chance to arbitrate this. Okay?
guys, but
He got
but
railroaded is what you don't seem to understand.
No, but you're the one who's no one's siding with you. Like
Okay,
I don't
who?
you.
You're
Like,
not.
Okay,
oh,
but
I,
according to
So
Jungle, Phil
Jungleman, are
Galfond
you
already
willing?
arbitrated and ruled, right?
He's
that's
paid you
correct.
1.35 million out of 1.5 million.
He's in the thread. I can
Huh?
out of the thread. I guess it's that time.
What's that?
I can show
So,
the.
Viffer, the guy that you've already asked, that you said is a good arbitrator, has already arbitrated and ruled in Jungleman's favor.
And what did
So,
what did he rule?
I ruled that you owe 250,000.
Not you.
Who?
Phil Galfond, what did he rule?
He ruled against, of course.
What
Like
did he rule? Like, what was Phil Galfond's ruling?
he fucking ruled against. Ask him yourself.
Against what? Exactly what did
That
he
he
rule?
lost. That he lost. He owes the amount.
He owes the full amount?
Later, he never even paid that amount.
How much does he owe, Jungleman? If it was ruled upon, how much does he owe?
He owes still the rest of the 150 or the 1.5. He didn't pay it. They
So-
carved out. She didn't pay that either. Everyone's a liar.
You're a liar, Jungleman.
All right, guys. We're not going to hear that. We're not going to listen to this.
Right.
Um.
So Jungleman.
So
No.
what was the Jungle? What was the amount that Phil ruled that he should pay?
It's them cumulatively. To be clear, Phil's involved, and then Ilya basically said everything. Phil's one of the arbitrators in them, and Ilya ruled he owes the 1.5. I mean, Dom even made me sign a document. You're all just making it really difficult to actually collect from. I mean, it's just so funny, the lack of self-awareness, and like you're making it worse. You're making my life worse. You're like you're supposed to
Why?
just be
Because I believe something.
how are we making your life worse? I just got him to agree that he owes you 250K for the fucking crossbook.
No, not you. I'm saying David. No, you're making it better. Not no. I mean, David's making it worse. I mean, he's trying, but he's not. He wants to. I don't know. I don't know what to say to him.
Look, please call me
Okay,
Viffer.
well,
I don't want
Viffer
anybody to get
clearly-
confused if you think you're talking about me.
What's that?
I clearly have my beliefs, right?
Like, please refer to
clearly
him
have-
as Viffer and not David, so people
Yeah.
don't think you're talking about me.
Oh yeah, Viffer. Excuse me.
All right, I clearly have my beliefs, right?
Well,
Like whether I'm right or wrong, I believe what I believe, and I'm willing to bet on it.
I mean,
Right?
you know, like everything is justifiable, and I do mean everything. By the way,
But I'm willing to bet my money against it, right? I'm willing to bet my money on my beliefs.
no, you aren't because you already did that and you didn't pay. That's a lie.
So I'm not willing to bet on arbitration with people that bet on you.
Then sure, we can bet on arbitration with someone else, but at least like post the money so I know that you'll pay.
Okay. So then if we let people that are unbiased arbitrate between you and Tom Dwan, and they say that he's paid way too much, he shouldn't have paid you 1.5 million. He shouldn't have paid you 1.35 million. Let's just say that these people say that he should only pay 500,000.
We can
Are
bet on
you
that.
going to give him 850,000 back?
Well, that would be completely insane because the total opposite was ruled, and like I didn't
It
even
was
get.
ruled by people that bet on you, Jungleman.
If you're trying to drive me crazy, I really
No, I'm trying. I'm trying to get justification here
I
because
could really
nobody's ever talked about
I
this.
can do that.
No,
If you guys
Tom Dwan's never been able to stand up for himself and say this because
join,
everybody just railroads him and says, "Oh, you're such a bad guy. Oh, you didn't do this. Oh, it doesn't matter that Full Tilt closed. Oh, it doesn't matter that you couldn't play poker in the United States anymore. Oh,
I
it doesn't matter this. Oh, you owe us money."
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if I'm supposed to like.
So tell me that if we find somebody to arbitrate this and they say he only owes 500,000, you'll pay him the 850,000 that he's paid you back.
I mean, everyone has kind of spoken for me. I like you're doing.
Right? People have spoken for you, but nobody's spoken for Tom.
Well, why the fuck would people have spoken for him? Actually, that's not
So
true.
so then you agree that if we find somebody to arbitrate this and they say that you owe 850,000 because he's overpaid
I
with
gotta
you,
go.
you'll pay that.
I have social obligations, and
Yeah, I get it,
just
Jungle Man.
where there's like
Like
coherence.
I said, the poker
Thanks, Jungle.
community ganged up on it, and
Um,
like you guys made him arbitrate something with
maybe
people
it's
that
better.
bet
I'm not
against him,
bad.
and he had this 23-year-old autistic kid that like was so worried about his reputation at the time that he's kind of just agreed to everything,
Tom,
and
for the
that's
record,
just not right.
Tom tried hard, and he has difficult situations now. I'll try to say that. I don't even know if I should be attacking Viffer. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. I would like my 250K, please. I don't really care. I mean, the 62K is nice too.
So then you're saying that we don't know I don't know the side
Yeah,
bet,
there's
or I
just
don't
saying I'll let
owe
a
all of
fate
it.
deal with you or whatever it is. Like, what can I
Do
say?
just
Well, I
in a
tried to
fair
like
world, how much
distance
of the side
myself
bet do
from
I owe,
this.
Gentleman?
Like, I don't know what to.
In a fair world,
No
how
Jungle,
much
he
of the
words.
asked
side
you a
There's
bet
fucking
do
no
I
words
owe?
question.
for this.
Just answer the question. In a fair world, how much of the side bet should be paid?
What are you talking about? He actually owes more than I let him off. I was merciful.
In a fair
No,
world, how much of the side bet should be paid?
He should owe me more because if he paid the 50,000 hands, he would actually lose more money. And he was the
So he
one
could have never won.
multiple times. So actually, I was very nice.
You were nice to him.
Yes, that is correct.
A guy pays you 1.35 million, laying you 3-1 on 15,000 hands because you guys never let him stick up for himself, and like you just railroaded him that he's like a fucking piece of shit because he's not paying, and like all these people got him to arbitrate that bet money on you that
I
all had a
disagree with.
financial.
I disagree with him getting bullied. He chose the arbitrators. He had a chance to choose the arbitrators, and it sounds like he's lost more than once. And if you're basically saying that they ruled in Jungle's favor, so you're basically calling all the arbitrators scum.
No, I'm just saying it's not fair. It's inherently biased. Like I'm not saying they're scum, but like, can you really be objective?
Yeah, it's not saying they're scum. I mean, it's human nature to kind of like look out your own self-interest. Obviously, they should not, but I
Well,
don't think he's saying they're scum. He's just saying their judgment could be clouded.
speak of the
Durr chose
not you.
Durr chose the
No, you're right
arbitrators.
about that, but I'm just saying you can't say
Josh,
he's
but
calling
he
them
never
scum.
had a chance to choose.
What
Yes,
do
he
you
did.
mean? How
You
does
know how
somebody not have a
hard it would
chance to
be?
choose?
Listen, do you see all the shit I'm getting for my beliefs?
Because
Gaslight.
From
your
the poker.
beliefs are very,
Okay, but
very
what if Tom has these
self-motivated.
same beliefs? They are. But like, what if Tom has these same beliefs?
I don't know why I have to deal with this.
Okay, but Tom had the opportunity to finish the challenge, right? Like Full Tilt came back, he played 60,000 hands against other people that weren't Jungle, so he didn't. It's not like Full Tilt going down is the end all be all excuse that you keep using, right?
Maybe. I mean, no, it's not the end all be all, but it's definitely relevant.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys, all this is becoming irrelevant because Viffer, you've said out of your mouth that you owe the crossbook. You owe the
Okay,
250,000.
okay, we're not arguing that.
Okay, so
But
then
Josh, there's a lot more money involved here.
what? But okay, so show good faith and pay the money you owe.
That's
And
fine, but let Jungleman show good faith and let's arbitrate what fucking Tom did, and
I,
then go from there.
how many
but
arbitration
this
does he? I don't think he'll even do it.
So if we could get him to agree to do it, Jungleman, would you agree to do this?
I already did.
You did what?
He did that. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Jungleman, that's just not true.
It is. What are you
Hang on,
talking?
can I just cut in for just one quick? Viffer, do you have it? Do you have this money?
Could I write him a check for 250 right now? No.
Okay.
Well, see, that's a different thing. That's a different issue. I gotta go. I mean, we can add another arbitration, I guess, but like, it already happened. Gillian, Phil Galfon, and all of them.
So if Phil Galfon says, "Hey, you know what? We might not have arbitrated this fairly," and agrees to redo it, would you accept his decision?
I guess so. Didn't they have to reconvene, right? 1 second. I don't know, it's this one. I'm trying to find my Uber. Hey, I'm just trying to find my friend.
I'm texting with
But
Tom right
Josh
now.
and
He's
Ryan, you bring up a
responding.
good point that I wanted to bring up also,
I'm
right?
trying to get Tom here. Hold on. I'm talking to him now. Trying to see. He says Jungle didn't honor his deals with me. So hold on. I'm trying to get him to come speak on it.
Well, he didn't honor his deals with me. I think he didn't want me to speak about it, but like, where's the money?
Jungle, you've been paid 1.35 million out of 1.5 million out of completing a challenge
I do.
that was 25% done, getting 3 to 1.
You know the funny part is like
You're not allowed to spit it at her.
actually I thought of.
Well, guess what, guys? If you guys want to make sure, you guys are doing a decent job. I mean, like, I can be a crazy person too. I can be really crazy, actually. Like, if Tom wants to say I didn't honor some deals, okay, well then, let's go to war.
Forget about war, Jungle Man. Let's just go to a fair arbitration.
No, let's fight it out, please. I would really like to just fight it out. I'm ready for that.
Okay, so I don't know you and we could fight.
Hey,
All right.
Jungle, go enjoy your evening and go have a cold one and calm down.
Okay.
See you, buddy.
So Ryan, so to your next point, right? Are you there?
Ryan, you're muted. You're muted, Ryan.
Ryan, can you hear me?
Fees is muted, but I see Dan Shack at the top of the list.
Yeah,
Dave
she's in
or
the-
Viff, do you agree that Shack would be a fair and unbiased arbitrator or opinion on the subject?
I don't. So I don't really trust many people's opinion.
Tom says at 6 a.m. he's tired, doesn't want to deal with Jungle. I said, well, Jungle left, but Tom doesn't want to come on, so sorry.
So I don't really agree with a lot of people's opinions on this because they don't know the whole story, right? They know the story of, oh, Tom's a scumbag. Oh, people have arbitrated this. Oh, that. Like, there's a lot of things that have happened that people don't know about. And it's not it's just not quite as clear. But who asked me if I had the money to pay this right now?
I did.
Who's I?
Ryan.
All right, so you're back. You're off mute. No, I don't. So then my next question is how long should I be liable for a bet, right? When you're like out of the gambling world and all this other stuff, yada 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 yada. When the whole circumstances of your life changes.
I mean, if you make a bet and you lose, you got to pay it. I don't care when it is or for how long. There's no statute of limitations on owed money for a bet.
I get it. And that's great, and that's fine, right? And that's real easy to say. So, like, should I sell my house to pay him?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So should I not feed my kids to pay him? I'm just curious.
I mean,
You got to listen. You don't have to uproot your entire lifestyle to pay off the debt and go fucking be homeless because you owe money. But like, you should make a good faith effort.
I
If you can
agree.
afford to pay 5 or 10K a month for fucking 5 years, and that's what you got to do to pay off the debt, you got to pay it off.
yeah,
But like,
that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
Who was it? Was that Jungleman still here?
No, that's Ryan.
All right, so I got to make these payments to this guy. That's fine.
What do you
I
think?
just
Okay. So speaking
but
of like
I would like what's that?
speaking of like the thing, what is your interpretation of Durr making payments to Jungle? If your point of view is that when Full Tilt goes down, the challenge is over, because presumably not his point of view.
Tom never had a chance to stand up for himself, Ryan. Tom is like, oh man, I don't want to stand up to the whole world. The whole world. I just want this to be quiet. Oh, I'm going to say whatever
But
I
like
like.
stand up, like I don't. What do you mean stand up to like what? Like what is his like point of view that's being
Okay.
squashed by the whole world?
Okay, so here's the deal, Ryan. Right? Like Tom paid the money that he owed. He loses in the poker. He loses 1.25 million. Right? Do you think Tom's supposed to pay the whole 1.5 million?
Yeah.
Okay, so he can't play poker in the United States. The site that was running the promotion gets closed down. Um, and everything else. He lays 3-1 on 50,000 hands and only gets to play 15,000 of them. Do you think that that's fair that he's got to pay the 1.5 million?
I don't think it's fair. I would have not. I would have definitely not ruled that he has to pay the whole 1.5. But it
Agree.
wasn't me.
I
I
I
agree.
would
agree as well.
probably.
But do you think it's fair that he didn't pay, he chose to not play the challenge once he had the ability to play on Full Tilt again?
Yes, I do. Yeah, that's he.
Josh,
Yeah.
can you explain? Can you explain like why you think that is?
Because his perceived edge was over 50,000 hands. And there's a lot, and like Viffer said, there are a lot of external um, factors that nobody thought about. Kind of like, it's almost. There's a term that hotels use when there's a national, when there's a Mother Nature disaster.
Act of God.
Yeah, when there's an act of God, and Full Tilt getting shut down is very similar to an act of God. Does it clear him 100% liability? Absolutely not. But I would have probably ruled that he owed probably around 50%, maybe 60% of the side bet. How much not that this matters on anything, how much did Jungle win in gameplay?
1.25 million.
Yeah, about 30 buy-ins.
Yeah, dude, I've been gambling for 40 years, and I take the worst of a lot of situations. So long ago, I would have found a figure that we were both unhappy with, and I would have accepted that. And I think that we wouldn't be here today if Jungle would have accepted like 60% of the side bet, and just it would all be over with.
But can I like? But I don't like. What is like so special about Full Tilt? Like they could have just played like play money on Zanga and Crossbow. Like I don't like
Yeah,
what.
but
I
What's the
think
difference?
but that's
example.
different. I could totally understand. I could totally understand Durr's comfort with the software, comfort with everything about Full Tilt. That's where his home court is on Full Tilt software. I'm not saying that's the case, but that could be the case.
And they're paying
And
him like 100,000 a month to play there.
I don't that.
Yeah, but what does that? What does that have to do? Like, there's no terms of this bet that like this is like a like full tilt is like a unique feature.
100%. It was agreement to the bet that it was to be played on Full Tilt.
Yeah, but
Tom was a
sure.
sponsored pro at Full Tilt Poker, and it was more of a promotion. Now I
Okay,
give
but
this
the
example,
site
Ryan.
came back. The
Huh?
site came back, and Durr played more on Full Tilt.
Yeah, Ryan. How about this? Let's just say and I gave this example, and I don't know how you feel about it, but you guys run this promotion at the lodge, and Doug says he'll play anybody heads up in the world and lay him 3-1, and 15,000 hands come into play, and the Loge gets rated. There's no poker in the United States in the world, or no poker to be played in the United States. Does Doug just owe the 1.5 million at that point?
Yeah, I mean, well, Doug would just keep playing, like or concede the bet. Like Doug wouldn't. But yeah, I mean, yes.
Okay, Viffer, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But Durr agreed to arbitration. However he got bullied, however the system was loaded, none of that matters. It was already agreed upon. Prior to going into arbitration, they both agreed to go with what the arbitrator says. Am I right?
Do we even know what was said?
I don't. I have no
Who
idea.
knows?
Well, if Durr paid 1.35 of 1.5 million, then he acted in good faith and paid what he could. And I think that
Josh, he paid this money to shut up so we just didn't have to hear about it.
Well, that's unfortunate that your horse decided to do that.
Not my horse.
It's 100% your horse.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, let's just like Jungleman said he would re-arbitrate it. Let's just find somebody else out, and I think that Tom's paid way more than he should have, and we'll just go from there. Like I owe Jungleman money, that's fine. Tom's acted in good faith, that's fine. And Jungleman agreed to like re-arbitrate it, and if he's not owed that much, then he'll give Tom back the money. I'm okay with that. Now we can figure out a fair number of what us people that bet on the side owe of the side bet, and go from there, because I just don't think it's 100%.
Well, yeah, because if you were on the other side, you would be saying exactly what I'm saying is they arbitrated. This is over. I don't even know why we're talking about it.
You're 100, Josh. You're like 100% right.
Okay.
If I was on the other side and I had bet on Jungleman, I would be saying the exact same thing that these guys are saying, because it's in my best interest to get paid.
No, because you know what's right.
No, in no world do I think it's right that you would have to pay the whole 1.5 million.
I understand. That's not the issue. The issue is they agreed to arbitrators no matter what rigged system it was, he agreed to it.
That's just not true, Josh, and you don't know that to be true. See, you're making assumptions that you just don't know, right?
Yeah, I do know that I don't. Yes, you're right. I don't know that they came to an agreement.
Okay.
So why would somebody, if they didn't come to an agreement, why would somebody pay 1.35 million?
Josh, why would I? Because like sometimes you just agree to pay because like you have the whole world coming at you.
Okay. So again,
right? Like, so why would somebody like confess to murder if they didn't commit the murder?
Okay. But when he accepts defeat, when he pays 1.35 million.
So when did he accept defeat?
Whenever he paid money.
Give me a date. Like, I want to know the date.
A date doesn't matter. It's a transaction. When the transaction was made, he accepted defeat.
When?
Well, what the fuck? It doesn't matter.
But
yesterday.
Josh, you don't know that happened is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, so now that's not even a fact that he paid 1.35 million, and you're just, dude, you're talking in circles. Viffer.
I'm not talking in Josh.
We're wasting time. You're right. This is a complete waste of time.
All right, you're great.
Good game, guys.
Thank you.
Good game.